Hi, this is Mark Leffler. I'm a correspondent here for Endeavor Freedom, and I'm here with Scott Heinzman. He's an organizer from Detroit, Michigan area, Livonia specifically, and Scott's going to tell a little bit about what's going on in his state and what's going on with the disability movement, grassroots organizing. Scott?
Those of us in Michigan are desperately trying to put the squeeze on Representative John Dingell, the Dean of Congress, to mark up the Community Choice Act, H.R. 1621, and get it out of his Commerce and Energy Committee and out to the House floor for an up or down vote there and get community choice moving. We also have a nice group of people forming up in the Lansing area, and the Michigan Adapt chapter is beginning to revive itself and grow a little bit, and we're excited about that.
Right on. And when do you suspect that the bill will finally be passed? And then what needs to happen after that happens?
I'm really hoping that it passes next year. We're not going to see anything happen this year with the election. If we get it passed next year, and I think we can, we've got like 110 sponsors. If Obama's elected, we got a really good chance because I think he'll endorse it as president because he's endorsed it now as a senator. And then after that, or simultaneously with that, we're working on all these housing issues. That's what we're here for in D.C. this time. We put together a good housing platform. We're going to put the squeeze on HUD to make sure that they have the right percentage of accessible units, plus making sure that the accessible units are made for people that need accessibility and not for people who do not.
Right. And why is this issue important to you specifically?
For me, it's not particularly important, but I have a lot of empathy for all the people that I've met and known, all the people that are isolated away, really taken out of society altogether. And I want every one of those people to be able to see the light of day, go out and be under the sun wherever they want.
If I want to understand, you're a family man now. Can you tell us a little about that?
Family man, 2 kids.
He's got good sperms.
In vitro fertilization process, thank God they have it work. I got 2 kids, 3-year-old and 9-month-old, and her name is Hannah. And I'm really
say hi to Hannah.
Hi Hannah. And I'm really looking forward to seeing my wife Marie and Sean and Hannah real soon.
Right on. I think we covered it. Cut. Thank you.
Action.
This is Mark Leffler again with Endeavor Freedom. I'm here with Jeff Fox. Jeff Fox is with the Wisconsin contingency. He's doing a lot of great organizing in the actual northern part of the state, right close to the big old lake, the inland sea of Lake Superior. And if you can just talk a little bit about why you're here today in D.C., what your ambition is, and what you're doing in your local state.
Okay. We're here for accessible, affordable, and integrated housing. And there's so many simple ways you can do it. One of the things Wisconsin is doing, the WIDA program there, it's our housing authority, they have a program for landlords, small landlords that only own 1 or 2 apartments or 1 or 2, rental things, whatever. But they'll give them a low interest loan so that they can rehab their apartments to make them fully accessible. I mean, that's going to make us more integrated in the community. They said since they started rolling it out, it was one of their most popular programs.
Cool. And didn't you start some sort of an HMO program as well, with grassroots consumer?
No. Well, yeah. Right now they're working on it. There's an 11-county consortium. They will be their own MCO because the state's managed care. What do I want to say? The Tip and Top Services will be under that, but now it'll be instead of 11 counties dealing with the state, it'll just be 1 entity. So it'll be more efficient.
Less paperwork.
Less paperwork.
Less hoops and whatnot.
Plus, they're coming up with a new thing too called self-directed services, to where the person can choose who they want to hire, which means they'll be able to hire their relatives or their next door neighbor or the local kid down the street just to mow their lawn. They won't have to go to a quote professional agency.
And from what I understand, you've got some pretty good buy-in from the local politicians and so forth in terms of rehab.
Yep.
Understanding rehabbing, from $30,000 entity units up on to $250,000. This kind of like concrete change sort of stuff, kind of somewhat.
Yeah. Well, one of the things they did up in Superior was they had torn down one of the high schools, they rebuilt it, and they were going to rebuild it to, how do I want to say it, the low income, but they wanted to, it was more integrated, not just low income, but we talked them into making them all visitable. So that all visitable. Yeah, it's a very difficult word to say, but basically it's just at least one no-step entrance into the house, 36-inch doorways into the bathroom, you know, very simple things. And as long as you do it in construction, they said that one of the gentlemen came and looked at the house and he was able to buy it and move right into it with no other renovations.
Right.
You know.
And the contractors get perked, the developers, for doing it, from what I understand, they love it. They're eating it up.
Yeah, one other thing we did with WEDA too was all their projects go out on a point schedule. You know, you get X amount of points for different things. So we told them, why don't you give them extra points for making all their places visitable? So, you know, hopefully they'll just encourage the contractors to make them all visitable because you want those extra points so you get the contract.
But they just do it because they know they get the money and they say, oh, this is great. It's all about the money to them. But the bottom line is it's accessible and people love it.
Yes.
No matter who buys it, it's like there and ready for when they need it.
Yep. Exactly.
Right on. Well, on a more personal level, why is this stuff important to you? Yes. What drives you?
What drives me? I don't want to end up in a nursing home. When it comes my time, I want to be my own home. And that's it. I want to make sure that the system is set up for when I need it. I don't want to be caught like yourself, you know, in the cracks.
That's a whole other package of worms.
Yes.
Well, right on. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
That's awesome. Throw that on YouTube. Cut.
We went down to HUD and we took what they stole from us. Well, we took back our dignity. We took back our humanity. Well, they're under our feet and under our wheels, under our feet and under our wheels. And ain't nobody gonna walk all over me, no way.
Encore, encore.
Everybody, I got one question for you. How do you spell power? I don't think they heard you very well over there at HUD and Dust City and RNC and DNC and all them places we visited this week. So I'm going to ask the question again. How do we spell power? Alright. I gotta say we had one hell of a week. Did we not? Did we not have one hell of a week? Well, we're gonna start talking about it and going over events, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna start out in reverse order. So we're gonna talk about today, we're gonna talk about yesterday, we're gonna have some folks talk about their first arrest, talk about Monday, talk about Orange, do some recognizing of our leaders and some folks and thank yous. And so with that, I'm gonna turn it over to Bob.
I'm right here, Anita.
Uzi. Hey, you remember that building down the block there at HHS where we took it over for that history last fall? Well, we had the meeting a few months ago with Secretary Levitt, and so today was a follow-up. 11 people met with the head of CMS, which stands for the Center of Medicare and Medicaid Services. And they are, even though it's really bureaucratic and boring, but they are the ones that make all the rules and pay all the money to the states. They're the ones that pay for the community services, and they also pay for the nursing home. Real quickly, because you don't really need to hear about a boring meeting, it actually was, and Remy would say, fuck the bureaucrats. But us older, more laid-back activists said, it wasn't bad. They did make some commitments about trying to break down the silos of all those different labels that they give us and just talk about us like we are proud people with disabilities. They talked about a process to when people want and say they want to get out of a nursing home, a process to maybe give their name to somebody so somebody can help them to get out. Maybe like an independent living center or an area agency on aging. So that process looks like it's moving forward. And then there was more just blah, 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 blah. So overall, it was a good meeting. It really showed a lot of power. They had about more bureaucrats in the room. Not as many as cops were following us, but there were a lot of them there. So just know that while we're doing it in the streets, we're also doing it in the boardroom. You're a hell of a group. Give yourself a hand. I'm going to turn it over to Cassie.
I'm looking for a volunteer too to help us with the microphones up here because we're going to need to pass it around. Okay. You guys were awesome this morning. The Orange Team stories were just great. We really enjoyed them. Although it was hard to leave Doc and all that brotherhood and all. We had a great demolition derby there, especially tearing down that nursing home. Brick by brick, you tore down the walls. You did an awesome job. And, you know, I just have to say, we have the most creative bunch of people. I understand you had a disco out there last night. I would have never thought of that. You guys are incredible. And Denise is going to share with you some of the stuff that happened on the Hill because you weren't done. We knocked down 2 nursing homes this week, threw crap at every powerful politician we could think of, right in the face, we got right in their face, did 5 hits, and we still made it to the Hill. And Denise is going to tell you what Yellow did there.
Actually, we all made it to the Hill. All the colors did. Yellow went to Longworth Building, which had 8 floors on it. We thought there was 7 and found out there was one that snuck in underneath where you come in. So we had to go down there and deliver a few of the newspapers. And everybody got them. And thank you to everybody that went and took their time today and went out there after getting up and being up at 7 a.m.
So to go in reverse order, as the Purple Day leader, I don't know if anyone, well, there were some folks up at 1 a.m. this morning. Yeah, great us. Can I hear the Purple Color Group? Hello? We had a ton of first-timers in our group, and we actually went to Senator Dodd's office, who is a senator, a Democratic senator for Connecticut. That's D-O-D-D, not D-O-D. And he wasn't available when we came in. Actually, the cops tried to stop us from even getting in to the building. They had lined up right there, and we had to stop, our group had to stop and wait, and you know, we were like, this is our right to be able to get in there. Finally, they stood down and they let us go through security. So we played it real low-key, kind of like we were doing a Hill visit like we did today, this afternoon, which was really smart, but they did follow us. Everyone was so great though. We went up in the elevators, we worked together, and surprisingly enough, Don's office was right outside the elevator doors. We were excited. So we went in there, everyone kind of went in, trickled in, and then people just started chanting like you always do. You just took it over, you dominated the scene, they didn't know what to do. And after chanting for a long time, they finally sent in a policy person to talk to us about housing, but it was pretty much pretty words for no action. And so everyone really kept up the chants. We actually had some creative chants that came out. Her name was Jen. And what was the chant we did for Jen? Sign that letter with your pen. So it was like, I was like, this rocks. So, and we had a lot of young people that were from the youth summit there, and which was really cool to see. So you know, they were trying actually. The cops were outside the door, but they weren't doing anything. They're just really crowded outside, and they weren't doing anything. And we were like, what's going on? And we figured that maybe they're going to wait until the end of the day. Well, the end of the day did come, and the secretary had to leave. And she had her purse in the closet. Well, that became a point of escalation of really raising up the stakes to get a letter of commitment from Senator Dodd. And folks really, you know, stepped it up, held that door, and we were arrested for unlawful assembly. We committed civil disobedience together. No way! I know it was a surprise for all of us. But we're hoping that maybe this will be a call to Senator Dodd to really step it up for people with disabilities. He's got a lot of pretty awards from MAD, from other groups of people with disabilities. But we are not giving him an award. There's no award from ADAPT.
I don't know about my voice. I think I'm going through adolescence. My name is Mike, and what? Eric's my friend. I'm as a co-leader for the Green Team with Barb Toomer. And I gotta say, man, the Mean Green Team was down every morning, on time, all lined up. You guys are a really, really awesome team. And so it made our work really easy. And in fact, when our chairs crapped out, coder leaders just went and did it. So we're planning our obsolescence, which is a good thing. Anyway, so, oh God, where to begin with this? First of all, I think our cops were on steroids. I'm glad that you found some mellow ones. Man, these guys were. Anyway, but it starts out when, you know, this story, like, trying to get there. So, we're going up Constitution Ave. We were in the front. And we're going up Constitution Avenue to get there, and they start blocking off the curb ramp. And they did block it off. One of those little motorcycles. It was insulting. It wasn't even a Harley. It was like that little motorcycle, you know. And the guy wouldn't move out of the way, you know. And so we go up there, and he starts asking what we want or where we're going. And I said, well, we're going down that public path where all them other people are going down. And then he said it's blocked off or it's closed for something. And we're like, looks like it's only closed to people, you know, that use wheelchairs. Everybody else really was walking down there. And so we almost did the confrontation right there over this curb ramp. And finally we said, okay, if you won't get out of the way on your little wimpy motorcycle, we'll just go around you and we'll get volunteers to lift up over this curb and we'll keep going. And won't that look nice in front of all the public? For blocking off a public sidewalk. Before we even did anything, we're going down the road, and so finally he calls his captain. I don't know if there's something going on, they didn't want us there, you know, an event or something. But they finally got out of the way after, I mean, I swear we were going to go into like arrest mode over this sidewalk, which we didn't really want, but we got them out of the way. And I mean, this place was crawling with cops on bikes, motorcycles, trikes, cars, minivans, Jeeps, other kinds of four-wheel drive things. I don't know what they were. They had like school buses that they would jump out of. I swear they were like jumping out of the bushes and stuff. This is true. I mean, there was like more of them than there was of us. It was unbelievable the whole way. And so we finally get across the Capitol grounds and turn up to go on the Senate. And, you know, we want to lose them. So we went the wrong way, which I'm known for anyway. So it worked out well. And so we go all the way to the end, clear almost out to the highway, and we sort of like faked a quick, we thought it was quick, dodge to the right down this little alley that was so narrow it wouldn't fit their cars. And so we did lose some of them, but the bikes and the trikes and everything else went through there. And they were waiting, of course, on the other end, so it wasn't that great of a maneuver, but it was kind of fun. And we went around, and so when we finally got there, and we were afraid of this, unfortunately my memory works at the wrong times, and we got in, and like the office is like right there next to the security. It's like you go through the security belt x-ray thingy, and the office is like right there on the right. So we couldn't like do much with that, like start hanging out by security wasn't going to work. So we went and we started trying to be tourists and go see the big, it was in the Hart building, the big sculpture, you know, in there, the clouds and the mountains. And we went over there and tried to tourist around a little, even though we're completely circled by like layers of cops. And there was cops in every office of the first floor of the Hart buildings. Big. You know, they were in every single one. And everywhere we went, they would just jump out and do more, and it was like, well, shit. So we finally started turning around like we're going to leave. We thought they were going to believe that we just came to look at the sculpture. And we took pictures and stuff. And Kevin started giving a lecture on the guy who did it. Oh, yeah, well, he's my favorite sculptor. And I studied him in school, and whatever, we went. And so we went to go to leave, and we're going to run for it, and maybe we should have trickled, but they were in there waiting on us, so it probably wouldn't have mattered. But we got there, and it was bad because one of the guys who was going to hold the door, who's really good at it, he could not get arrested, grabs the door, and then the cops like freak out, knock our door holders into the office, and then blocked it off. So our door holder guys are in the office, we're all blocked out. They start accusing us of breaking the door, which it was really their fault. It wasn't broken, which they lied right there. And they basically, we could run over them or, you know, have a standoff. And so we did the standoff. Everyone did a great job of chanting and everything. And their chief of staff came out and lectured us on the appropriate, proper way of asking for an appointment, which, by the way, takes weeks, possibly months. When we asked him how long, it was kind of indefinite. Maybe you get an appointment or not. And so we kind of started talking about how this senator had been in charge of the nation's housing policy for a long, long time and done nothing but cut it, ignore it. They'd never done any disability work at all. And the guy admitted it. His chief of staff agreed that was true. And so we started going, so you're telling us that the system that is broken, that has done nothing but screw us and doesn't work for us, is the one we're supposed to use. And he's like, well, yeah, that's right, because you didn't ask for an appointment. Anyway, that went around and around and around. And finally, it didn't last long, and we'd heard that the other group had already begun their process. And so we all got arrested really pretty quick. I mean, it was like 20 minutes, and we were done, and they started grabbing people, and I was like probably first or second, and away we went. And we sat in there for at least 7 hours, and they were really pissed off at first. I mean, they like took my cell phone. I was going to try to send a picture to Twitter, and they took it away, because Amber has got me Twittering like a maniac. Anyway, they took it away, and they started yelling at us about, you're under arrest, and you won't talk or have fun. And the boys are over there, and the girls are over there, and on and on and on and on, and like they do, you know. And we just basically sat and twiddled our thumbs until they finally got around. They talk about processing paperwork, you know, and it's really like a program in their computer. All they have to do is print it. So that was kind of the end. Oh, wait, going back, I gotta tell you this. We're leaving the building, and it's really late at night. It's like 11:30 or something, and we're just getting out. We're starting to get out. And so we all get together and line up, and we're trying to be safe and cross the street with the light. People that we stand are standing up to block traffic. And all of a sudden there's, you can hear this high-powered engine racing along, and this guy in this sports car is going like 60 miles an hour, accelerating right at our line of people. I mean, it was so scary. We were going to have, I mean, it was bad. And all of a sudden he sees us. I don't know what he thought. Slams on his brakes. He's like doing like that from braking so hard, you know, sliding side to side. And anyway, luckily we didn't get hit. And a police officer had heard him slamming his brakes and racing his motor. He started yelling, came over there and pulled him out of the car and started writing tickets. But it was partially our fault because the light had changed. So our guys were kind of watching, like, let's get out of here now. We don't want to be part of this arrest scene. Let's go down the hill and go. We finally kind of made it home because it was quite an adventure, I guess I would say. But the green team really kicked ass, and it was a great action.
And that was the Allison's Restaurant version of the Shelby hit.
My turn. I hope you can hear me. Me llamo Efraín, a tu orden, Efraín Lozano. The man's office we went to is named Frank. Now this cat surprised me. It was a fast, no, the blue team rocks. This trip, it's about the right people coming together at the right time. Experience, valor, courage. And we get to that office. All of the blue team penetrated fast. Ocho por ocho. And Bruce Darley is talking to the policy person, trying to distract him while we're going deep and filling the place. Very quickly, people started chanting, accessible, affordable, integrated housing. And the policy person was arguing that we needed to make an appointment, the usual. After a bit, he was talking about cops. Bruce and I were talking to him for a while, and this is where Frank surprised me. It's the first time that I've ever known the target to show while we were occupying their office. Another historic thing to me about this action, breaking tradition. And he was not well pleased. He showed his colors real fast. He reinforced another tradition about the best targets being an arrogant shithead. Maybe the best target. He has been, we've been trying to talk to this man. He's the head of the housing committee. And he hasn't come through, from what I understand, with a single voucher. And he also realized pretty fast we weren't leaving, and that we weren't, and we realized he wasn't going to be making any kind of a meeting with us that had any substance. He told the cops, get these people out of here. He put the cops on us, and that made them nervous. While he was trying to get out, though, an interesting thing happened. He got blocked. Zan's wheelchair was in the way. She had abandoned it in a strategic place. And Nadina, one of the 23 valientes that resisted arrest this trip because they knew they were hot potatoes. She was stuck blocking him. Barney Frank was blocking himself from making, his exit was ruined. For good. After that, the cops came in and let us know real quick they were arresting. It wasn't, I didn't hear a formal notification. They said get out or you're arrested. And like I say, the people that were able to, that had to resist extreme emotions, were able to get out just in time. They started arresting us and emptied the place pretty fast. 15, the B-15, the B-15. Had a time in the basement garage. Our charges, I hope I'm not inaccurate about it. It was like unlawful assembly and failure to disperse, something like that. Maybe, I don't know if we were promoting this time. We don't know what that is either. Don't know. We signed the other language. I'm not sure about it. We signed a deal that we're going to be back in court in October sometime. And we came out earlier than anyone else, so we were probably out there by 11 o'clock. Made it by the hotel to relieve ourselves and back to the tent city. Another piece of history about this action. Gracias. The orange team.
You guys done a great job. You guys need to give yourself a hand. You guys really got up at 4 o'clock in the morning. You guys really did a great job this week. And I'd like to know how many first-timers that got arrested. Right on. Would anybody like to talk about their first arrest?
Amen.
I need a runner, please.
Jeremiah. Where's Amen? He's got it. Clearly. Yeah.
Intense experience. Met a lot of really cool people here. Had one of the most intense rally experiences in my entire life. John McCain's definitely lost my vote. Yeah, basically, all we wanted to do was get in there and talk and, spread our party platform to them and ask them to bring the issue up. And they just shut us right down, basically. What was it? 9 people got in there, and they weren't having it. They were looking at us like, we were terrorists. Just about everybody does what we're pretty much is. And the Arlington police started showing up in droves, and we were all just looking around like, okay. But everybody kept chanting. Everybody kept the spirits up. We had naysayers left and right, McCain supporters. One of them not really sure she was even on the payroll. She was just doing it for fun. Kathy, she had some choice words for you, I believe. Yeah, but I'm hoping not all McCain supporters are like that because we get bad impression. Okay, so I knew it was on though when when eventually they were trying to shut the door and this row of stormtroopers comes up around the side of the building. And we just locked in. I saw an empty spot right here between 2 wheelchairs, and I figured, okay. I see, I see people around me looking at me like,
get under keys.
I'll do it. Apparently that's not the best thing to do. They got up and they they basically said, you better move, you better move, and, okay. And dragged me out into the street. But basically, I mean, it was even worse the fact that, it really didn't matter who you were. I mean, I'm not physically disabled yet, but I support everything that's going on here, and I would like to know that someday if I am, that living situations, the government will be taking care of me, my loved ones, my parents aren't, that young. My brothers, my sister, or I don't have a sister, but I'm really nervous. Or basically, I don't feel the least bit bad about getting arrested. I think anybody in here it's their first time, and they maybe stood back and looked. Don't be ashamed of that either. Just the fact that you're here is I mean, it's amazing to be able to get up and just say what you want. It's definitely not my first protest, but it was my first time sort of being in the fray.
Thank you, Amon.
Terry!
Yeah. 15. Hey, 15.
My name is Terry, and it was my first arrest.
My name is Kelly Casillas, and it was my first arrest. And I'm with the yellow team. And I got in McCain's headquarters. Not very far, but I got in. And wasn't much going on in there. They didn't really want to hear anything. And the lady that was talking with Randy, I believe, was going to fax something to someone who counted. And they said they did, but I didn't see it happen. But, and the officer that I was speaking to in there was asking me questions, like, what were we there for? Hello? And I told him, affordable, integrated, accessible housing. And he looked at me, accessible. Yeah, you can get in through the front door, you can use the bathroom, if you're in a wheelchair. And he said to me, well, I stub my toe going through the front door sometimes too. That's what he said. I said, at least you still get in your front door, And then after the nice first jail experience, when we got off the bus, there was a gentleman waiting in a suit. I couldn't tell you who he was working for. He wanted to ask me some questions. He said, you're probably not going to answer me. I said, you're probably right. But the man did not know what integrated meant. So I explained that to him. So hopefully they learned something from us being here.
No, I wanted you to speak.
I didn't go.
Oh, you didn't? All right. I just went somewhere.
And even if I did, it wouldn't have been my first time.
I went somewhere from the purple group to speak. It's pretty intense.
Yeah,
I have a sore throat.
I've been arrested a lot.
This is my first arrest, not my first action, but my first arrest. And my son got arrested with me. They tried to freak us out while we were in the holding room. That didn't work. And the little mini tricks that they tried on still didn't work, but that helped burn. And we all stuck together until we got out. It was a pretty fantastic experience for me.
Hi, I was in the purple group. I almost wanted someone else to speak. It was my first experience. And I thought we kicked butt. Did we not? I want you to know that people in my family and my friends said, no one's going to arrest you. You're in a wheelchair. Wrong. Right? And it was our officers were pretty nice. I knew people that were for the cake office. It was a freaking nightmare. Called Bruce's hospital and stuff. But, you know, they were as reasonable with us as, you know, they could be. But I really, it was shocking to me how people just don't get this. They just don't get that if you are in an apartment, if you're in an apartment and it's not accessible and it's not affordable, how are you going to live there? And it's like, and then they put you in a nursing home and then you're not eligible for any other housing because being in a nursing home is considered being domiciled. So then you're screwed. So it just was amazing to me how these people didn't care. And the woman that we spoke to, she was clueless. She was just clueless. She just wanted, she kept saying, well, I have to go somewhere, you know, I have to run. I'm so glad she can run, because I can't run.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Jeremiah Adele and Paul's son, and it was my first arrest. I was Senator Shelby's office, and the police came to arrest us in about 20 minutes. There's no warning. I got my first and last warning after about 25 minutes, and he asked me if I wanted to leave or if I was going to be arrested. And I told him I'd rather go to jail than die in prison. And he said he would be happy to oblige me. And so it took us down to the holding cell. My dad said it was freezing, but we all stuck in there and stuck it out, and it was great.
Okay, we got one over here. We'll do one more, and then we need to get rolling here and rocking later.
I'm sorry, I know we're running out of time, but there was only a few of us left when the object of our protest actually showed up. Senator Shelby did show up. He was conducting a TV interview, so he couldn't make it any earlier. So when we were, oh, by the way, my name is Diane from Southwestern PA. But I just wanted to add that he did show up, and that was pretty darn cool. But he looked me in the eyes as I'm being handcuffed, and I'm saying, like, do you realize how important this stuff is? Like, I'm showing him my handcuffs, and he says, but I'm not the head of the committee. So, but anyway, I said, but I bet you he listens to you. And so we handed him some literature, and I don't know if it made an impact on him or not, but I'll tell you what, he had to look us in the eyes.
Well, you guys were great, man. And we have to see you first timers come back again and make it your second time. So Free our people! Free our people! Free our people! Free our people! Now! 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 Free our people!
Toomer. We're gonna have Barb Toomer tell you what happened at the DNC.
On Monday, we went to the Democratic National Committee, and of course, we went up by the Rayburn building, and we just start up that hill, and they bring up a great big busload, a great big bus, and the door opens, and out pour, I guess there's about 60 seats in a bus, and 60 cops come out, and all walking, all everything, and they just kind of swarmed around and watched as we went up the hill, and they were alongside of us. We also had the motorcycle escort. We also had the police cars, we had bicycles. We were loaded for bear, and all we did was to go up the hill. And these guys just, well, you know how to spell power. And they recognized what power really was. So we get up and we go around, and we took a little detour because we wanted them to have a little exercise anyway. So we wind up down at the Democratic National Committee, and one of our runners runs in, and here we are outside chanting, thinking, oh, well, they're not going to come out either. Well, we got two women who came out, one a representative of Senator Obama, one a representative of the Democratic National Committee. They listened to our chant, they accepted our literature for the all right, I've lost it, guys. It's senior room. Thank you for the accessible, affordable, integrated housing. Sometimes things get lost up there. And so they accepted it. We invited them to Dust City. They said they would really try hard to get there. We had a real nice rapport with them. We had absolutely no problems. And so we had chanted a few more times, and we started back home again. Well, we crossed the circle, the horseshoe circle that has the Rayburn building in it, and we decided, oh, let's just freak them out. So we turned, and we went on up along that horseshoe, and we gathered exactly where we gathered years ago when Representative Gingrich and us rode the Casa. And it was at night, and they ran up and down, you know, a draft would go up, and then a draft would come down, and it was just kind of a yo-yo affair, but a Mikasa got written. So then we went on down, and of course our friendly followers escorted us, and you know, the police in this town do a pretty good job of protecting us. There's some screwy drivers out there, there really are. But anyway, you know, they're supposed to serve and protect, and I guess in a way I'm grateful to them. But what we did was we had a demonstration at the Democratic National Committee. We spoke with a representative of both the Democrats and Senator Obama, who's running for president. We had a history lesson, and we got home safely. And what more can you ask of a day?
Meanwhile, in the other camp, was the
different.
Canadian headquarters in Arlington, Virginia. The police actually said that they followed us all the way, so I'm still wondering how nine of us got in the door. Yeah, we didn't see them anywhere. And we took a while to get there too, so they had plenty of time to catch up. Anyway, when we came in, Randy went through the door first, and then my chair, which is a dog, followed by about 12 feet or so. So they tackled Randy, the security guard there, when he grabbed his backpack and thought that there was a bomb, that we were terrorists. And so they were Randy and almost tipped over his chair backwards of trying to get in his backpack when it finally calmed down. Then all the volunteers that were there, in their clicky little heels and their little power suits and ties and shirts, and very young people, most of them, stepped in between Randy and I, and one woman held her arms out like this, like she's going to, I don't know, I was sort of below her arms, but I asked her after about 2 minutes, how long couldn't she hold her arms out like that? She finally put them down and went away, but his face was still there by somebody else. We were prone to sort of run over them, but they were people. And so I reminded people that we don't want to be arrested for assault, and that's what it would be. So we stood our ground and we wouldn't move out, even though the security guard was telling us over and over again that we weren't allowed in there, that we had to go outside. But we refused, and we refused again and again. Finally, they brought out Donna. Donna has a disability, and later on she revealed that she's the only one that's on, it's called the National Coalition Coordinator for the Americans with Disabilities from McCain. And she seems to be the only American with a disability. She said she was the only one. She offered, she said, she leaned over and whispered at one point, "I'm really on your side, but I'll deny it. I'll deny it if you ever say anything." So, you can go ask her and she can deny it, but I'm telling you, she did. So I offered to her that she needs to come on over and go get her chair that she parked down the hallway and came up with her cane, to go get her chair and come on with us and turn it around in the direction facing them. And she said that her mom would kill her, and she didn't want to. They kept on and on and on, but this person didn't have the power to make any decisions. So when Randy and I were conversing with her, we tried to get her to fax something to somebody higher up that could make a decision. Because after all, we've been there before. Many of us have been to McCain's office. I wasn't one of them the first time. That's why I was able to go through the door the second time. And he refused to sign on to the CCA and said it was bad legislation. But all we wanted this time was for him to sign on to our platform, our housing platform, and to acknowledge it and to endorse it. And they wouldn't even talk about it. Not even talk about it. He simply refused. He does not want people with disabilities out running around town if he thinks he's going to be his President of the United States. He wants to keep us all locked up, evidently. So when it came to the arrest time, and the cops were coming in, and Donna was saying, it wasn't them, it was the cops that were going to arrest us. And I said, absolutely not. I said, you have to tell them to. And she said, well, I don't know what they're going to do. I said, they are you, and you're going to have to tell them to. So Donna decided that she had a broken heart, that it was going to break her heart when they arrested us. So I'm sure that Donna's over at the medical unit somewhere. With a broken heart. Maybe we should send her a card or something. I don't know.
Please.
Yes, we should. A broken heart. So when they ended up, they took us down to the where they had a lockup, and we saw a magistrate. And so we had to go back the next day to court. But other than the broken heart, I don't think we accomplished a whole lot, except we did educate an awful lot of people. And they were quite surprised when we came in, even though the police evidently might have notified them. Like Cassie had, because she was outside.
Please.
I just wanted to say, I think we did accomplish a lot. I mean, we were on the news, and they basically said that they're going to be talking about this in the next administration. We didn't accomplish maybe getting him to endorse our platform, but I don't think we thought he would after he put benchmarks on so many of us. We didn't think he would be that cooperative. But I think we really got Washington talking. I mean, and I think we got some media. And I think McCain is really probably scratching his head now saying, why did I screw up so bad? I really believe that. Because he's an idiot. But I think we really accomplished getting Washington talking about the fact that we don't have affordable, accessible, integrated housing. We did it our way. I don't know, I don't know how much we're going to educate McCain's office.
We have it all already.
But I don't know how much he understands about the poor. It really showed he didn't know very much about the poor by the way we were treated in that office both times. But I think we accomplished plenty because of your hard work and determination to kick butt there and to take the high ground.
Cassie, you ought to understand housing. He owns 6 of them.
7. I made that statement. He has 7 houses. All we want is a simple apartment, and that's what they played on the news, so the media got it.
I want to say a few things about Orange, but before I do that, somebody lost a blue flashlight. It'll go in lost and found. All right, Orange team. Orange team rock. We held down Dove City. We got extremely creative over there at Dove City, building structures through the night and organizing, cool little events. We had some videos going on. Folks built the Darley Disco, complete with lights and all. Built the Dove City Library. Built the John McCain Lost Home for people with disabilities, the nursing home, which we tore down. And then we even had a red light district. We had an accessible, affordable, integrated brothel. And it's very affordable because the services were performed on the barter system. You may want to talk to her mom and Jason about that. We had lots of little six-legged friends over there at and big six-legged friends. Give me the heebie-jeebies talking about it. And so, in honor of our six-legged friends, we built a huge LeGrand Cockroach Motel. I've never seen an accessible cockroach. And somebody even found a real live one to put with it. And we had so many cockroaches around that people were talking about organizing cockroach races and cockroach fights. Because they were fighting amongst themselves. My goodness, there were thousands of them there.
Are those HUD employees we're talking about?
We held tight and strong, and it was a really wonderful experience. Not many of us got sleep down there at Orange, and people talked and got to know each other and sang and reminisced and played a little music, and Johnny gave us a couple of concerts we had going on, and we had this Mission Impossible. It was a secret thing. Unfortunately, it couldn't happen, but we got together and were given the assignment of our lives. That big old building across the street, right? We had a sign made up that said, "Duh HUD." And a contingent of us went over to try to see if we could get the construction folks to put it at the top of the building so that HUD would see it. But government contracts, they didn't want to take that chance. But it was, hey, it was worth a try, Good idea. So, I'm trying to think, there's so much that happened down there. Tim did a video, Dove City After Dark, so it may be coming out soon. Because we had, it was a little city. It was amazing because every day there were more structures added, and it really began to look like a little city going on. I mean, they tore down from the ruins of a torn down nursing home. They built an accessible structure, and then they had the Karen Powell House. I mean, the Karen Powell House was amazing. You could wheel into it, and it fit a couple of boats and chairs, and it was really cool. I think the Extreme Adapt Makeover took place in there. So, I mean, I want to say, give it up for Orange.
gonna say much earlier, but I'm feeling a little better than I was at that particular time, so. I just wanted to say, I mean, Anita covered it all pretty well, but, you know, there's, all of us are in different segments of how long we've been around with that. And you get these actions that stand out in your mind for some reason or another as being a little bit different or a little bit better, or somehow offbeat than the other ones. They're the ones that stick out over the years. And I gotta admit, this is going to be one for me, and I think probably for a few other folks. And just the magnitude of what happened in 3 days. Well, basically damn near 2 days. You know, just counting the city, 5 hits in 2 days, all those arrests at that many different places. They're remaking a pod in the DAP style. The DAP arts and crafts experts there. All these things, because I should have known that when you found out we were going downstairs at 4 o'clock in the morning and started chanting 4 a.m. 4 a.m. I mean, I should have known. Yeah, something was really going to get there. So I just wanted to say, when we stuck in there, you know, the stealth, the DAP stealth mode, I never figured out where the switch is for it, but it just seems to kick in automatically. And the guard at the front door, I can't remember if he or she, I didn't look that closely,